today's video, we will be doing 6 cottage style thrift flips. Let's get started. Project number 1 is this little birdhouse that I thrifted not too long ago for just $1 or $2. It already had a cute little floral painting on the sides of it, so I didn't really need to mess with that. Some thrift flips are really easy. So basically the top of it was pretty rough. The roof was rough. It had a lot of cracks in it. So I took out my spackling and I filled in the cracks. I then took my Bayberry Fusion Mineral Paint and I painted it with 1 coat of paint, and that was enough to have full coverage. The good thing about the Fusion Mineral Paint is it's rated for outdoors, so it's weatherproof and you can put it outside. What do you think about the finished project? Oh, I also added some twine so that it could be hung. Project number 2 is this vintage wooden bread box. It had this engraving all over it, and I really like the hinges. So what I did is I took out my milk paint by Fusion in the color Mod Mustard. I mixed it up. I let it sit for about 10 minutes. You have to mix it really good. Make sure all the stuff in the bottom is mixed up, and then you let it sit for 10 minutes, and then you just start painting it. I ended up doing 2 to 3 coats here. You can see it in fast motion that I'm painting it, and it gets really good coverage. The good thing about milk paint is it's forgiving. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then you take out your air dryer. I actually have a heat gun that I use, and I spray on it until it gets the really good crackling. That's the good part about milk paint. You can make it crackle if you want to. If you don't, you don't have to. I then took out the new Rose Botanical Transfer from IOD, Iron Grid Designs, and I decided to put on a transfer. So after I looked in my transfer set, I decided to choose a couple of different transfers. I ended up choosing a third one too to put on the front bottom part of it. But right here, what you're seeing is me taking the little stick that comes with the transfer set. First, you have to peel off the backing. Then you put the transfer down on your piece. It is a little bit sticky, but it won't, you can move it around. So once you put it on this kind of material, you can still move it around. It sticks perfectly to the milk paint. The milk paint has not yet been sealed, so it will stick very well to it. I got a little nervous because this is my first YouTube video that I was filming myself doing a project, and I left the writing at the bottom. I shouldn't have done that, but I did this time, and I accidentally hit it with a stick. So you'll see that when it's being pulled up, that a little bit came off. But that's okay. I just took a very fine sandpaper and I went over it and I scratched it off. So after you put your transfer onto your project, you're going to have to take the back side of that paper that your transfer was on, and you're going to need to rub it directly on your transfer so that it sticks and it stays put on your item. It's called burnishing it. You can also use your hand as well. You might see me doing that here in a little bit. I also usually like to go back with my hands or my fingers just so that I know it's stuck. So now I'm taking the second one, the second floral piece, and I'm making a little bouquet on the front of the bread box. Initially, I thought that it was a good idea when I was making this, when I was actually doing the project, not to cover up any of the engraving on the bread box, but looking back, I don't think it would have mattered. But here we are, and that's what I did. So I'm just once again using the little stick that comes with the paper, and I'm rubbing it onto the onto the milk paint, onto the project. And later on, off camera, I'm going to do one on the front as well. You'll see that in a second. So with milk paint, it does not have a top sealer on it. It's not sealed on the top, or a top coat. So you actually have to seal it. And unlike the regular Fusion Mineral Paint, where you do not need a top coat. So in a second, you're going to see me grab my beeswax. It's a beeswax hemp oil from Fusion. And you're going to take that and you're going to use a lint-free rag. And you're going to, you can also use a paintbrush, but I usually just put it on a rag. Okay, so right here, I forgot to tell you, I'm taking that same lightweight sandpaper, and I'm rubbing on the transfer so that it will distress the transfer so it looks like it's been there a while instead of brand new. So now I'm taking that beeswax and I'm rubbing it all over the chalk paint to seal it. Whenever you put the wax on top of the, I might have said chalk paint, it's milk paint. Whenever you put it on top of the milk paint, it's going to richen up the color and make it so pretty. This color is a beautiful buttery color. It's called Mod Mustard. I don't know if I got quite the right coloring on the film, but it's a beautiful color. And then it shows all those cracks. And I went back and I did distress this piece a little bit just because I thought that would be good on this piece. But remember, with milk paint, you don't have to distress it and you don't have to get cracks if you don't want to. So here is the finished project. I think it's beautiful. What do you think? Do you like this project? Can you see the crackling right there? Project number 3 is this picnic basket that I thrifted. It has a little bit of damage right there on the front with the paper coming off, but that just gives it a little bit of charm in my opinion. It was a perfect picnic basket to make over because it had this flat wooden surface. So I took out my bayberry paint again and I just gave it a couple of good coats. Project number 4 is this old drawer that I actually found on the street, and I picked it up and I gave it several good coats of the Mod Mustard milk paint, and you'll see that here in a second. Project number 5 and project number 6 are basically these big pictures that I added a rose transfer to. I'm not going to bore you with how to do it. You've already seen how to do it. So that's project number 5, and here's project number 6. A pink picture and then this yellow picture. What do you think about these? Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like it, please subscribe. I would really appreciate that. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment about what you think about these projects. What do you think about the picnic basket? Do you think I should have put a transfer on it? And check out that drawer. It's really cool and can be used in so many ways. You can use it to stack stuff at your house or store things, or you can also put it in your vendor booth if you have one of those. I actually have a vendor booth that I want to share with you. It's located in Alto, Georgia, which is in North Georgia, just north of Atlanta. But I also have a website, which I told you earlier, but it's www.jbowenandcompany.com, and all the fusion mineral products used today, as well as the iron orchid design products, can be found there on my website. So look at all the beautiful colors. There's so many to choose from. It's even hard for me to choose which ones that I want to use. But anyway, thank you so much for sticking around. I so appreciate it. And stick around. There's so much more to come. I think I'm going to do some moody Halloween type stuff coming up, and some Christmas and all the fun stuff. And I look forward to sharing my projects with you. Hope you enjoyed today's thrift flips, and just let me know which one is your favorite. Thank you so much, and please come back.